Greetings from the Empowering Temple of Praise Church, currently being constructed at 3615 Reed Street, Fort Worth, Texas 76119. This is Bishop Miles. Welcome to another wonderful word on this Sunday blessed morning that God has blessed us all to see. We are 4 days away from Thanksgiving, and the Lord has given us a Thanksgiving message on this Sunday. Prayers have been made. Without further ado, let's get into this word that God has for us on today. There is a word from the Lord in the gospel according to St. Luke chapter 17, verses 11 through verse 19. Verse 11 through verse 19, chapter 17 of the gospel according to St. Luke. Here's what is recorded in the BV version. Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem. He traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. He was going into a village where 10 men met him. They had a skin disease of leprosy. They were standing close by and they called out in a loud voice, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." Jesus saw them and said, "Hey, go show yourself to the priest." And while they were on their way, the Bible declared that they were healed. When one of them saw that he was healed, he came back and praised God in a loud voice, threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. The man was a Samaritan. Verse 17 reads, Jesus asked, "Weren't all 10 of you healed? Where in the world are the other 9? Did anyone else besides you stop and come back and give praise to God except for yourself?" Then Jesus said to him, "Get up and go. Your thanksgiving and faith has now made you whole." I'm going to use for a subject from which to preach in the form of a question. Why should I be thankful? Yes, why should I be thankful? I was reading a story about this grandfather who was in the hospital because of COVID, of course. He was in there for several months and could not be visited by family members. He raised a grandson probably around 8 years old or so. And his grandson always came to the hospital but couldn't see his grandfather. And his grandfather, during the 3-month period, was able to get better. And to get his hands to begin working right, they gave him crafts. So out of the wooden stuff they gave or provided to him, he created a, a boat, a little wooden type boat that he wanted the nurse to give to his grandson upon the next visit, even though they couldn't see each other in person. So he made the boat, said the nurse, "Give it to my grandson." Grandson came to the hospital. The nurse told the grandfather that, "Hey, your grandson is downstairs. You want me to give him the boat?" Grandfather said yes. She took it down, told the grandson, "This is a gift to you." He was elated. He's smiling happy. Now, the grandfather was looking out the window, and he started doing this. "Hey!" And the grandson, he got the little boat. He's like, "Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I love this. This is beautiful." Now, his father was upstairs doing this. Hey, trying to get his attention, saying, "Hey, I'm the one that did that. I'm the one made it for you." But he wasn't getting the news. He couldn't get in touch with him because they were some distance away, and he couldn't visit him in person. And he was banging on the window. The grandson couldn't hear him, and yet he was telling the nurse, "I appreciate what you done. Thank you for this." And the nurse she failed to tell the grandson where the thanks should be given, or where the thanks should be provided to, or who the thanks should be given to. She just took the gratitude herself. "Thank you, thank you, thank you, nurse. Thank you, nurse." And I said that because it reminded me of some of us that sometimes we forget to thank who we supposed to thank first, and that is the Almighty God. Yes, 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 yes. And we thank everybody else. Appreciate you, person. Appreciate you, mister. Appreciate you, sister. Appreciate you, Mrs. Appreciate you, director. Appreciate you, boss man, boss lady. Appreciate. But we fail to forget that our Father who's up above, we fail to look up and thank the Father who's responsible for providing us with the gift that we are blessed with on this day. And that's what that story reminded me of, because a lot of us do that. We thank everybody but God, and God is just waiting up above, waiting for us to just take a look up and say, Father, thank you, because I know without you, this nurse still couldn't even bring me what she has brought me. I look at that because I really want the question to be answered. Why should I be thankful? That's an easy question, right? And the answer is simply because you are here. You are present. You are in the land of the living. If you're 6 feet tall, some folks say you are 6 feet above ground rather than 6 feet underground. You have a lot to be thankful for. Why should I be thankful? And I know there are some folks who have difficulty saying or giving thanks. Trust me, I think I was like that at some time or another, where it was difficult to say thanks. I appreciate it. Matter of fact, I say appreciate it. That's still saying thanks, right? I appreciate you. But sometimes the word thank you goes a long way, right? I thank you very much because what you did for me, what you said for me, what you done on my behalf, what you gave me, whatever the case may be, I appreciate it so much that I want to let you know that I thank you. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to say that, but I thank you. I appreciate that. It blessed me, and I want you to know that. Sometimes folks have difficulty telling other folks thank you, and I understand that. And somebody may say, well, Bishop, I think that some people have difficulty saying, thank you, especially to God, because they're going through stuff. I think they have difficulty because what they are facing or what they are dealing with. No, the best time that you ought to be able to say thank you is when you're going through. The best time and the most opportune time for us to really give God great thanks is when we are going through. When everything is not like we would want it to be, when things are not going our way, when we are facing difficulties in life, when the stuff we thought would happen for us didn't happen, that we need to say thank you. Why, Bishop? I'm glad you asked, because there's always somebody out there who's worse off than you. I know you don't see it. Sometimes God has to show us. We complain about certain things, and then God will show us somebody that don't have what we have. Yeah, we'll complain about our sorry old car. It's raggedy. And then God shows us somebody that's riding on a bicycle. Yeah. You may say, well, somebody complained about the bicycle because it's on flat. Then God shows somebody with no legs and can't ride the bike. And it just goes on and on. While you are complaining, there's somebody who would want to be in your shoes. You be like, God, nobody want this problem I have. My man crazy, my kids crazy, my mama acting funny, and don't nobody like me. You can say, I don't care what you say. I promise you, you can answer. Why should I be thankful? There's some things that follows that's in your life that other folk would want to have. You be like, well, they can have my man. There's some folk that might want them. They can have my woman. Yeah, there's some folks who would probably take your woman over the one they have right now. Because there's always somebody who's out there that's worse off than you are. Another reason why we should be thankful is because being thankful has health benefits. Yeah, I looked this up. And I believe Minister Chandra or Minister Beverly talked about this once before. I don't know if Minister Beverly did it in Bible school and Minister Chandra in one of her messages this year, but I do recall one and or both of them mentioning something about the health benefits. I don't know if it was surrounding Thanksgiving, but I believe it was in the same area where we discovered through research that there are benefits to being thankful. Here it is. There was a study done by a group of doctors, PhD holders, and the study took, I don't know how many people, but it was a group of adults, and I don't remember how many of the adults, but it had to be several of them for them to come up with this result. So a lot of adults, they put in a group for 6 months. First, they tested them, did all of the, vital signs and checked all the vital signs, checked their health. And then at the beginning of 6 months, they started telling them to be thankful every day for something. We want you to be thankful for something, at least one thing every day. No matter what goes on in your life, always, and they had them write this down every day to be thankful for something. If your dog died that day, you still got to write something down that you're thankful. Don't be like, yeah, I can't because my dog died today. No, every day, because I promise you, every day you have something to be thankful for. So they did that for 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, because they were studying them from when they first met them until the end. And this is what they discovered at the end of the 6 months. I wrote this down. Here it is. They discovered that the stress hormones in their body, I think it's called cortisol, but the stress hormones were reduced by 23%, meaning that over that 6 month period, they had less stress than they had when they began the study. And it had something to do with the positivity that they had on a daily basis. They begin to thank God for different things on a daily basis for 180 days. And at the end of 180 days, they discovered that their stress levels had dramatically decreased. Not only that they were less materialistic. The things that they used to always want and say they had to have, they no longer cherish those things after that 6 month window, because they discovered that being thankful for just what you blessed with is good enough. Not that they were just satisfied that they didn't have to get anything that they desired, but the fact that they were spending money on stuff that they didn't need, all because they had a materialistic mindset. So in essence, being more thankful caused them to have more money. Oh my goodness. I just said something and you missed it. Being more thankful caused them to have more money in their pocket, because they were appreciating the things they had more than looking at what other folks had so they can go get it and not really need it. Oh man, here it is. Also, they were more joyful. They studied them at the beginning of the study, and then at the end of the study, and found out they had more smiles on their faces. They were more joyful, less materialistic, and they were more closer in their relationship with God. Oh my goodness. Why should I be thankful? It has benefits. Being thankful goes a long way. It's not just being thankful and you are telling the person they appreciate you. It has health benefits. It blesses you on the inside as well as the outside, and your relationship get tighter. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to help somebody out there. Being thankful has benefits. Here it is. Let's go to this text so I can get out of here, because I don't want to make this message too long, because this Thanksgiving message can go for an hour. I'm trying not to go there, but here's what the Lord wants you to know. Verse 12 says, Jesus entered a certain village. Watch this. As I studied this on last night, the word certain just stuck out. So I had to go a little bit deeper into this. Jesus entered a certain village. Why a certain village? Why a certain village? This is a specific village that he decided to go. Watch this, what the Holy Ghost said. God knows where you are. Don't miss this. God knows where you are. Jesus specifically entered this village because he knew that those men needed him. There are other villages out there. He could have gone in other places, in other directions. But watch this. God knew that they had been in need of him, in need of healing, in need of a blessing, in need of no longer being an outcast. And he specifically went to that certain village just for those 10 men. So what are you saying, Bishop? Here's what I'm saying, that no matter where you are, God knows where you are. You can't hide from him. You can't run from him. There's no place in the universe, on any planet, that you can go that God ain't already there. Oh, I love that. He knew where they were and had heard their cries and them calling and needing help, needing somebody to get them out the rut that they were in. And Jesus went to that specific village. Here it is. It says that these men were contaminated with leprosy and died. Just think about that. Because when I read that, it brought back memory to my counsel. Contamination. Do you want chemotherapy, radiation? How you want to do it? Let me talk to my father. Because I trust my father to give me the direct and the correct guidance. I know what y'all saying, doctor, but there's a doctor above you. And I'm going to trust him. So I went to God, and God said, hey, I'm just going to take the cancer out. Thank you. Thank you, Daddy. See, had I not gone to him, I probably would have been in the microwave to try to kill cancer cells. But God said, no, I got it. And I allowed you to get it because I know you trust me. And you kind of slipped up in the beginning, but then you got your head on right and began to trust that I was going to take care of you. I love that, y'all, because these men had heard already that Jesus had done miracles in the past. So they was wanting to know. They couldn't be around anybody, just them. Unclean could only be around unclean folk. You had leprosy. You had cancer. Excuse me. You had a disease. You could only be around those that had that same thing. So here it is. Here it is. Jesus knew that they needed him, and he went specifically to that village. So the Bible said, verse 13, that they cried out to him. I was contaminated, leprosy. Nobody want to be around us, so they cried out to him. Watch this, watch this. Contaminated and facing a death sentence. On my cancer site that I'm on and been on ever since diagnosed with cancer in 2016, here it is. I read the other day, this man said that he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And of course, I automatically, you're stage 4, you're like, oh my goodness. How long they say you got, bro? How long they say you got? But when you trust God, stage 1, stage 19, any stage does not matter. It all depends on what God decides to do. It don't matter what stage. But here's the deal. Years ago, when somebody say stage 4, we knew that meant 2 weeks. Somebody say stage 4 cancer, we knew, oh man, what did they give you, 6 weeks, month, 2 months, 3 months? And then during that period of time, they were gone. But because of the stuff that God has allowed us to be aware of and become knowledgeable of, this man was diagnosed with stage 4, and I thought it was recent. He said, no, 2013. Yeah, you heard right. 8 years ago, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, given a death sentence. And he said he's looking forward to making it to 2022. Yeah, he's got some cancer cells that's doing some stuff, done spread here and there. But he still said, with God's help and divine guidance, he's looking to make it to 2022 with different type of therapies and treatment that God is going to bless the doctors to put inside of him and all that stuff. I can't remember verbatim, but I was just excited for him, and I begin to thank God for him. Oh my goodness, I love that, y'all. When you give thanks for the small things, God can bless you with the bigger thing. Here, let me move on. Here it is. He said, they said, have mercy on us. Oh my. I got to hurry up through this thing because I probably can stop at every sentence that's in this text. They said, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. Let me point out two things for you. Number one, they didn't say, Jesus, Master, heal us. They didn't say, Jesus, Master, cleanse us. They didn't even say, Jesus, Master, fix us. They just wanted him to have mercy on them. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. But what are they saying? This is what they were saying. We know if you have mercy on us, whatever you do is going to be good. You know, sometimes just saying, God, have your way. I know we say that, but do we really mean it? God, have your way, because whatever way you decide to go, whatever thing you decide to do, whatever thing you decide to say, I know it's good. So have your way, dear Lord, have your way. When we say that, we have to really mean it. Basically, this is what these men were saying. Have your way, Lord, have your way. Whatever you decide to do. Matter of fact, any way you bless me, I'll be satisfied. That's what they were saying. Have mercy. Not cleanse, heal, fix. No, just have mercy on us. The second thing that just caught my eye, and I've read this text many times, God tremendously opened up my eyes almost every time he puts me in this word. It's amazing. They said, have mercy, right? And then the last part of that phrase is on us. Oh my goodness, why is that important? That is so important there, folks, because they were not selfishly saying, hey, help me. They were not selfishly saying that it's all about me. They recognize that I'm not by myself, and I just don't want you to bless me, but I want you to bless those that are with me. I don't want you to just heal me. I want you to heal those that are with me. I don't want you to just touch me, but I want you to touch those that are with me. Have mercy on who? Me? No, us. I love that. I love that. That's helping somebody right now who has selfish prayer. I love that Minister Jones told us in the Bible study that, hey, this week, last week, a week before, she said, pray for somebody else. I know we always praying for ourselves and what we want and how we want God to bless us and do this. I mean, y'all know I pray for y'all, but she was talking about just regular constituents or members or congregations. Just regular sisters and brothers who are not in the ministry to pray for somebody else. Just pick somebody and just pray for them. You know, put them on your independent private prayer list, and they don't even know about it. But how many know the effectual fervent prayer of righteous folk availeth much? It has some oomph to it. It goes a long way, right? So it's good to pray for other folks and not just be selfish when you pray. These men pointed out how we should be praying to God, how we should ask God, not just for us, but we should always ask for other folk. They said, have mercy on us. You know, any way you bless me, I'll be satisfied. Watch this. The Bible says that Jesus saw them. Y'all looking at that? Jesus saw them, and then he gives them a command. Wait a minute. Hold up. Watch this. Let me move back up. It says that They called out Jesus Master, 13, right? Have mercy on us. Y'all looking at this? Let me move around, make sure. Jesus saw them, verse 14, and then gave them a command. Now go show yourselves to the priest. Wait a minute. Watch this. At verse 13, they cried out, Jesus, Master. And I can imagine that cry because I kind of had that mindset when I was diagnosed with cancer, and it threw me for a loop. So I can imagine, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. I can imagine that cry. Watch this. And then in the very next verse, after they cried out to him, it said Jesus saw them and then said, go show yourself to the priest. Watch this. He saw them and then, but he heard them first, right? I'm looking at that. It didn't say Jesus heard them and then said, go show yourself to the priest. It said he saw them after he heard them. So why did he see them and then tell them to go instead of hearing them and then saying go? Watch this, because I had to ask the Holy Spirit about this a few times. Why point those? That has to be important because Luke is a physician, right? So he's pinpointing these things mean something. Jesus heard them first, cried out loud for his mercy on us. But Jesus wanted to make sure, not that he saw them, watch this, but that they saw him. Oh my goodness. Because they were a distance away when they cried out with, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. They hollered at him and he could be like, okay, go show yourself to the priest. No. Jesus came closer. The Bible said he saw them, but Jesus wanted them to see him. Because remember that these were contaminated, unclean folk. And nobody could be around them. But Jesus wanted to show them that just because the world calls them contaminated, that Jesus don't look at them the way the world looks at them. I'm trying to help somebody. The world may look at you as contaminated, a fool, ignoramus, but God said, I don't look at you the way the world looks at you. You are my son. You are my daughter. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Jesus waited till they saw him. The Bible said Jesus saw them and then said, go show yourselves to the priest. Watch this. Go show yourself to the priest. The Bible said while they were on their way, they were healed. 2 parts. Here it is. First thing is, anytime we want something from the Bible already tells us that faith without works is dead, right? Anytime we ask something of God, God say, hey, I'm going to do my part. But we have to do our part, saints. We have to do what we can do within our own earthly powers. Jesus said, I ain't going to walk for you. You got to walk. I'm not going to pick you up and carry you and take you to the priest so they can, watch this, confirm that you have been cleansed, because that was the protocol back then. You know, priests had to determine, oh, they are unclean. Well, priests had to determine, are you clean? So basically, watch this. Without telling them that he was going to heal them, because it didn't say specifically, he told them that he was going to heal them. Oh, I love that. I love that. Because by telling them to go get confirmation that you are cleansed, he was telling them that you were going to be cleansed without telling them. Oh, my goodness. See, I like that. That's why you have to have a relationship with God, because the communication between you and God is different than the communication between me and God. See, that's why the relationship has to be personal. It can't be tag team. Hey, you talk to God for me. See, that's how you do when you get mixed up, like back in the day when you... I remember one time back in the day, I think I was a sophomore or a junior. And I said, I told this dude, I said, hey, can you go tell old, I can't remember the name, it's been a couple of years ago. I said, can you go tell Sheila? That wasn't her name. Can you go tell Sheila that I like her? He said, man, you tell her. I said, nah, man, I don't know if she gonna like me or not. So he goes over there, right? He's sitting down with him, talking and talking and talking, and laughing. I'm looking. I'm like, you tell her yet? He's like, hold up. They talking and laughing. Next thing you know, y'all already know what happened, right? Yeah. Yeah, he started dating Sheila. It taught me a valid lesson. Yeah, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself. Yeah, people get hemmed up. So you can't be like, go to God for me. And personal relationship. That's why. Hey, can you ask God to let me believe in him so I can have eternal life? No, it's personal. You got to do that. I can't do it for you. God, she says she believes you and she's saved. And I said, why she can't tell me that? Why can't she open her mouth? Because I'm going to do my part. Oh, I already did my part. I sent my son. He died, shed blood, rose from the dead, got power, sitting on my right side. That's the authority. So all you got to do is your part. What part is that? Believe what I told you I just did. Yeah, believe what I did. And if you believe all that and you want me to come into your life and be the Lord, then you will save from the penalty of sin. Even though you're going to still sin. You got to do that. It's a personal relationship. And if you don't do it, I can't do it for you. That's why I love the fact that these men, when they went to go show themselves, they were doing what God said they could do. And before they even get there, because it had to be that way, right? Because the priest was going to give confirmation that they were cleansed so that the outsiders would no longer look at them and say you can't be around them. The priest would declare, hey, I declare that they no longer have leprosy. They are no longer determined unclean. You could actually hang out with them now. That's what the priest's job was, right? So Jesus said, go show yourself to the priest so he can confirm that you are healed. Even without telling them that he was going to heal them. I love that. Because a lot of times God don't specifically tell you that he going to do what you ask him to do. But he does it if you do your part. Oh, man, I love that. Let me move on. I got to get through with this. Watch this. Watch this. While the men was on their way, they discovered they were healed, but only 10% came back. Y'all know I like 10%, right? That 10% is a blessing when it comes to you keeping 90%. But when there was 10% coming back to give thanks, it's not good. And only 10% came back. And if you calculate it right, 9 out of 10, that's 90%, right? Only 1 came back, 1 of 10, that's 10%, right? 10% came back. But all of them were healed. 100% healed, 10% came back. To give thanks to God for healing, for cleaning them up. The Bible don't say how many years they had been unclean, they had that leprosy, but I don't care if it was 6 months. The audacity of not returning to give thanks to God for no longer being in the predicament that you were in is mind-boggling. And I know some of you can raise your hand and say, well, sometime I forget to thank God. I got you. But this lesson serves as a reminder of why we should give thanks. As that one came back and gave thanks, I was reminded, y'all probably heard of Joel Gregory, right? He was telling about a story of this family that was at a Thanksgiving table. During Thanksgiving. They had the family there, and the father was like, okay, this year, they always let different people give grace. So this year we're going to let little Johnny say grace. Little Johnny, 5 years old. Y'all know little Johnny, he's different, right? Little Johnny going to give grace. So little Johnny say, everybody hold hands and bow your head. Listen to little Johnny. Thank you, turkey, for being good. Although I haven't tasted you yet. Thank Mom for cooking the turkey. Thank Dad for buying the turkey. Thank the cashier for checking out the turkey. Thank the grocery store people for stocking the turkey. Thank the farmer for raising the turkey. Thank the man who kept feeding the turkey. Thank those who brought the turkey to the store. I mean, he was just going on and on. Everybody, the family looking up like, what in the world? Little Johnny just kept going on and on. Finally, he got through. He said, did I forget anybody? Did I leave out anybody? And then one of his brothers said, how about God? And little Johnny said, oh, yeah, I was getting to him. It's a little funny, right? Little Johnny crazy, right? But here's the deal. I don't know about little Johnny, but before you thank anybody else, you need to thank God. Before you thank anybody, my spouse, my children, my boss for the raise, before you thank anybody else, you need to be like some people in the sports world. They win the championship. Hey, what you think about that catch that made the difference? First, that's what they say. First, let me thank God. Oh my goodness, I love when I see that. Crawford that won the boxing match against Porter last night. Hey, what you think? A good fight? When did you know you had him in the round or in the fight? First, let me give thanks to God. I love hearing that from folks that are millionaires, because they realize that without God, they wouldn't be where they are. And I know you may not be a millionaire. You may not be a thousandaire. Matter of fact, some of you may say, Bishop, I ain't 100naire. That ain't a word, but I made up. And no matter where you are financially, know that you will not be where you are without God. And in all things, we should give thanks. Everything should go, all things should go to our Father. Everything should go to our Father. Without him, we're nothing. We can do nothing, say nothing, think nothing. Everything we do or say is because of God. And after only one return to give God thanks, Jesus asked about the other 9. He's like, hey, this stranger's the only one that came back. Watch this now. This stranger's the only one that came back. So the other 9, my cousins, my family, my kindred, my kinfolk. So you mean to tell me I healed 10 people, 9 of them were my kinfolk, and the one I really don't know, he come back and say, appreciate it, thank you? Isn't that how things happen in life? It puzzles me too, that kinfolk seem like the one that do you wrong more so than strangers. Oh my goodness. I know y'all didn't like that, but that's the truth. It seems like your brother, your sister, or your cousin would treat you worse than somebody you don't even know. That don't even make a bit of sense. I know it doesn't, but that's what happened. You can loan a stranger $50 and they pay you back Friday. You loan that same $50 to somebody that's your relative, and they make excuses of why they can't give you that $50 back, even though they just got paid. Oh my goodness, I don't want to start no mess in your family, but I know all of us have family members that do that. I raise my hand, and this one is yours, because I know you need to raise yours too. Bishop, I got that problem too. We all have that, and I don't know why, but it didn't just start with us. It started in the Bible. A stranger came back to give thanks. That's how important it is. No matter what God does for you, when he does it, the first person, the first one you should thank is God. I don't understand why the other 9 didn't. The predicament they were in and the outcast that they were, and now they are no longer in that situation. Why should I give thanks? They should have been the first one to thank him. You know what? Hey, cousin, appreciate you helping me out. Hey, relative, appreciate you helping me out, man. You didn't have to do it, kinfolk, but I appreciate it. But here's what some folks think. Well, you're supposed to do that because we can. You're supposed to do that because we got the same mama, different daddies. You're supposed to do that because you married me into the family. No. Anytime someone does something for you, say something positive for you, give you a word of encouragement, we ought to say thank you. And then when we say thank you, the ultimate thing go to God. God, thank you because you know I needed that. Thank you for sending that person to help me and bless me during my time of sorrow. Thank you for sending that person to give me a word of encouragement when I was feeling down. Thank you, God. The ultimate thanks goes to God. Why should I be thankful? Because it's beneficial. Let me finish with this. Sermon said, why should I be thankful? And if you are questioning why you should be thankful, you need to go look in the mirror. And when you go look in the mirror, just start with your eyes. Just start with your, okay, just go down. Okay, I can see. I can breathe. Shoot, I can talk. I can hear. I can eat. I mean, you just go on and just go all the way down. And when you get down to your toes, just slap yourself in the face and say, I don't even know why I even asked. Why should I be thankful? So what? Ain't everything going right now? You may have problems that's not, like all these problems adding up, and the bishop going to preach a sermon. Why should I be thankful? Because all these issues. No, you better get your behind in there. You don't have to put your hands together. You don't have to bow your head. But even if you just look up and say, God, I thank you. That's the least we should be able to do for the goodness that God have been blessing us with on a daily basis. Your Thanksgiving may not be all that it's paying out to be. And I'm saying this 4 days in advance. It may not be all paying out to be. You may not have the family gathering that you want it to be, or want it to be around. But whoever you're with, be thankful. Whoever you're around, be thankful. Whatever you have, be thankful. Whatever you drive, be thankful. Wherever you live, be thankful. The air that you breathe comes from God. Why should I be thankful? Now you know why. That God will continue to bless you and keep you is my prayer. Don't forget your tithe, seeds, and offering. And may you have a blessed and wonderful day.